Hey guys, it's Sarah. Today I thought I would do a chatty get ready with me. I really enjoy doing these videos every month or so just to kind of catch up with you guys and chat about makeup and life and yeah, just catch up. So as I've been doing recently, I asked you guys if you had any questions or topics you wanted me to discuss in this video, and you guys really came through with a lot of great questions and topics. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. So the sunscreen, I thought I would go ahead and put this on camera. Normally I do it before, but I'm using the SuperGoop Glow Screen. I got their mini size. This is the 0.5 ounce size, just because it's kind of expensive and I just wanted to try it before I bought the full size. Also because I have decided to do another like Battle of the Face sunscreens video coming up soon. And this one has been hyped up a lot lately, even though it's not really like a drugstore price like I normally like to stick to. I just really wanted to try it because it sounded really nice. So they say that this almost is supposed to be like a gripping primer for underneath makeup. And I think this is only like maybe the third or fourth time I'm using this. But I wanted to try it with my favorite foundation just to see, since I know that foundation really well, how it works under that one. And I'm not going to use any other primers or anything, but I mean, it is very luminous. And I would almost say it's more luminous than it is hydrating. Like, it feels hydrating going on, but that glow that you're seeing is mostly like the pearlescent finish that's like suspended in this product. So it's kind of interesting. But I usually like to do 2 good layers of sunscreen just so I know that I'm getting like an even amount of protection. So yeah, I've been really into sunscreens. I mean, for the past year I've been really into sunscreen, but I'm kind of going through it again because we're getting into summer and I just really want to bring you guys a lot of like SPF content here in the next few weeks, so I'm excited. I hope you are too. But anyway, let's go ahead and kick off some of these questions that you guys had. So here's a really good one that I wanted to start with on YouTube. Grace asked, are there any YouTubers that you have unsubscribed from, not because you don't like them, but because you noticed you were falling into unhealthy buying habits from watching them? And honestly, no. I do keep my subscription feed very curated. I think I'm subscribed to less than 20 channels, and I try to only subscribe to channels that I watch almost every upload from, if not every upload, just because I feel like I'm able to actually like watch my favorite people that way, rather than things just getting overwhelming when I used to be subscribed to like 80 or 100 channels, and there's just no way I could keep up with all those channels, and I'd rather be like a loyal subscriber to all of them. But anyway, that's not the question. The question is, have you unsubscribed from anyone because you noticed you were falling into unhealthy buying habits from watching them? And I really don't think that's been an issue for me. I'm using the Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation just because this is like the one that I know I like on my skin, so I want to see how it interacts with that glow screen. I subscribe to people and watch people mostly because I like their personalities. I don't necessarily watch people there are certain people that I watch for product recommendations, but I don't really watch people to be influenced necessarily. Like, obviously, subconsciously you're being influenced every time you watch someone, but I guess what I'm trying to say is I feel like I have complete control over my purchasing, and just because I see somebody else spending a lot of money on makeup at Sephora or whatever doesn't necessarily make me want to do it. That's the thing, like, I don't feel like other people can pressure me. Like, I have a healthy mindset around money, and I don't feel like I ever feel the urge to spend more just because I saw somebody else do it. People get really upset when they see YouTubers that they like and that they look up to having different spending patterns than they do. And I guess to me it's like, it's really none of my business how they spend their money, and it's my choice how I spend my money. That's the only thing I can control. So no, it doesn't really affect me when I see other people with different buying habits. Do I gravitate towards the type of content that I like, which is like, you know, using what you have, shopping your stash? I do, but I still watch YouTubers who don't really do any project pans or shop my stash content. I mean, I still love Emily Noel, and I mean, she has a huge makeup collection. It seems like she buys as much makeup as she wants, and you know, she's in the financial place to do that, I guess, and it doesn't really affect me. Like, I still like hearing her reviews on products. Like, I hear people criticizing YouTubers for having huge collections, and I guess, like, if I had a huge collection, I know I would be overwhelmed, but that doesn't mean that it's bad for them. And yeah, I know you could kind of make the argument that, you know, it is wasteful, like all of that is eventually going to end up in a landfill, which, true, that is another factor that makes me want to stick to, you know, a pretty curated collection and not overspending and decluttering just to buy more. But at the same time, people collect all sorts of things, you know? Everything that we have in our homes will probably eventually end up in a landfill. People collect dolls and baseball cards and I don't know, what else do people collect? Like, if collecting makeup brings you joy and it's in your budget, I'm not gonna fault anyone for doing that. So I hope that made sense. I can understand why somebody would unsubscribe from someone, especially if they're in a place where they feel like they don't have control over their spending. I think a lot of people go through that, especially when they first get into YouTube. They see all these YouTubers, you know, very successful YouTubers, either getting a ton of makeup in PR or just buying a lot of makeup for review purposes or just for collection purposes, and people feel pressured, I guess, to do the same. But I don't know, I think a lot of people go through that, but my spending has never really been out of hand, so it's just never been an issue for me. But yeah, interesting question. There's another one that I wanted to get into. Katie asked, YouTubers that you watch most often and are inspired by, and what do you think of Amazon consumerism, especially on YouTube? So I wanted to tackle specifically the second part of this question because in my last Get Ready With Me, I actually did talk about some of my favorite YouTubers at the moment, so I'll link that last Get Ready With Me if you want to hear which ones I talked about. But as far as Amazon, last year, probably around this time last year, I signed up for the Amazon influencer program, which I think anybody can sign up for. You may have to have a certain number of subscribers, but I think it's open to anyone. Don't quote me on that though. And I was really excited about it. I set up a little like Amazon storefront like a lot of YouTubers have, and I did even a Amazon favorites video at some point last summer, I think. And since that time, a lot more has come out about Amazon and the way that they treat their employees and just the incredible amount of greed that occurs at the top of that corporation. And I started realizing, like, personally, I want to move away from buying from Amazon as much as I possibly can. Thing is, I mean, it's becoming a monopoly and it's becoming almost, I won't say impossible, but it's becoming harder to even not shop at Amazon, especially during times like now when we do need to buy a lot of things online because we're avoiding going into stores. But yeah, so I still do shop on Amazon when I can't find that item anywhere else. Occasionally, you know, I think most of us probably do, even if we don't necessarily want to support Amazon. I think most of us do still have to some extent, unless you're wealthy and you can afford, you know, less convenient options or more expensive retailers. But at the same time, I realized that it's really not a company that I really want to promote on my channel. Like, I have this platform and I've built this platform mostly because I want to spread a message of conscious consumerism to a degree. And I mean, that's not to say that every brand I buy from is perfectly ethical, because I think that's almost impossible in this society that we live in. But Amazon is just one of the worst offenders, in my opinion, when it comes to just greed and treating employees terribly. I mean, there've been a lot of strikes going on. I'm not saying you'll never see me mention a product that I bought on Amazon on my channel, but I'm not gonna do Amazon favorites videos or Amazon hauls. I took my Amazon storefront link out of my description box, even though I think it still exists, but I haven't driven much traffic to it, so they're probably gonna shut it down. I think I've gotten a few warning emails like, if you don't drive more traffic to this page, we're gonna delete it. So, you know, I'm just gonna let them delete it whenever they want to. And yeah, that's kind of where I stand on it. And as far as other YouTubers promoting it, I mean, it does kind of frustrate me to see YouTubers with huge platforms who I'm pretty sure know I mean, we all know, right? Don't we all know that Amazon is like a pretty garbage corporation? And it does kind of make me sad to see people with hundreds of thousands of subscribers driving so many more customers to Amazon. And you know what else I've been thinking about a lot lately? A lot of people say they don't think YouTubers, like I've even gotten comments before like, you shouldn't talk about politics, you should keep that to yourself and your family and friends because this is where people come to escape and everything, which I get that to an extent. It's not like I'm gonna become like a political commentary channel or something, but there are real world events going on that affect real people, and politics is everything. Like it affects everything and it affects real people's lives. And so I think you have to be coming from a very privileged place to be able to even say like, I don't want to hear about politics. You know? So, and also, on the other hand of that, you know what else is a political statement? Is not saying anything at all about it, yet continuing to promote Amazon. Posting an Amazon favorites video, not mentioning the horrible things that that company does, and not even acknowledging it, like that's a political statement just as much as what I'm saying right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying YouTubers are obligated to talk politics if they want to stay out of it, that's fine, but to me it's just like, you have this platform and you know, every YouTuber that we watch has worked hard to build that platform so they can use it for whatever they want, but I think it's important to hold people accountable. Like, especially these YouTubers that, I mean, the thing is, YouTubers who are promoting their Amazon storefront and their Amazon affiliate links, they're making bank off of that, okay? They just are. Like, I know they are, because I did one Amazon favorites video and I got a pretty good amount of commission from that one video for my small channel. So I know that people with 500,000 to 1 million subscribers they're making bank off of their Amazon storefront, because if they're regularly promoting it, driving traffic to it, it's a great way to get people to buy your recommendations. And you know, YouTubers have to make money somehow, but the YouTubers who have that many subscribers, they're already pretty wealthy, you know? Like, they're already making really good money off of YouTube to the point where I think they could probably choose not to promote Amazon so heavily and still make a pretty good living. Ooh, I put way too much blush on. This e.l.f. primer infused blush is no joke. Like, this is very pigmented. So that's where I stand on that. Like I said, will I never mention Amazon or like a product that I bought on Amazon on my channel? Yeah, no promises, but I'm not gonna, if you see me doing an Amazon favorites video or like promoting my Amazon storefront every other thing I post, please talk some sense into me, okay? That's that. I feel like I just got real heated. I need to take a sip of my tea. Once again, drinking out of I guess this is more of a beer. It's from a brewing company, but it sort of looks like a wine glass. I don't know. It's jasmine tea. Yeah, this e.l.f. primer infused blush is serious business, man. I really like it though. Like the color, I put way too much on this cheek, but it's such a unique color and I like that it's kind of glowy. Like, yes, I'm all about this. The hard thing though about being like whatever, like promoting conscious consumerism or ethical consumerism, whatever, which there's really no such thing as, but that's another story, is it's hard not to back yourself into a corner sometimes. Like if I say, you know, I want to support more ethical companies, like not just cruelty free, but generally, it's like, well then people are gonna start nitpicking apart like everything you talk about. And so that's kind of part of why I've shied away from doing more like brand ethics videos, and I want to get more into that. I wanted to do a video about mica, but I haven't even gotten to like researching that yet. And I also feel like now is a weird time to like talk about other really heavy issues in the world when like we're all just in survival mode with this pandemic. So anyway, that's been kind of on the back burner, but it's hard not to back yourself into a corner though. That's what I'm trying to say with a lot of things on YouTube, but you got to figure out like the right way to approach it. And you know, if any of I mean, I have a lot of YouTubers I love that do support Amazon, and I'm sure they have their reasons. Probably money being the first one. So So anyway, what are your thoughts on tattoos? Do you have any and do you plan on getting any? That's from Sarah. I don't have any tattoos and I don't have any plans to get any. Not that I don't like tattoos, like I think they're cool. I just have never had something that I felt like was significant enough to me that I want to have it on my skin for the rest of my life. Like it would have to be something very significant. I'm using also this e.l.f. shimmer highlighting powder in Rose Glow, and I'm using this new e.l.f. brush that I got. It's a very like fluffy highlighter brush. I want to see. Ooh, that actually did work. Like it actually does show up with this. I really like how soft and fluffy this brush is. By the way, I'm probably not going to mention every single product I use, but I'll have them all linked down below if you're curious about what I'm using. Is YouTube your full-time job or do you have other employment? I do. YouTube is not my full-time job. There's no way I could make enough money right now to have YouTube be my full-time job. But yes, I do have another job outside of YouTube. I do consider YouTube kind of a part-time job, but my full-time job, I work for a nonprofit. This is a good question, and then I'll get over to Instagram. With so much change to daily life at the moment, are there any positives that you'd like to see remain when the world eventually rushes back to normal? I honestly, the first part of this quarantine situation, like the first maybe 4 to 6 weeks, I was thriving. Like I was enjoying just slowing down, and I know I'm very lucky to even be able to like take this as an opportunity to slow down. I mean, there are people who are working on the front lines who have had the opposite experience, but for me, I mean, for those of us who have been staying home, it's like, it's oddly nice to just have the world just slow down for a little while and for us all to just kind of chill out at home with our families or, you know, whoever you're with, maybe you're by yourself. There's never been anything else like that. I'm definitely an introvert, no doubt about that. I'm starting to get a little like sad, just like I won't say depressed, but just kind of like, oh, like when are we gonna have, I feel like I'm like sinking out of frame, when are we gonna have things to look forward to again, you know? And I think that the return back to normal is gonna be very slow. I don't think there's gonna be like a sudden like, okay, everybody's free now, go do whatever you want. Like it's gonna be a very gradual shift back into the world that we used to know, and I don't know if it's ever gonna go back to normal, you know? And I mean, some states, including mine, are starting to open back up, perhaps prematurely, I don't know, we'll see. Time will tell. But I mean, I'm continuing to stay home right now. They've sort of opened up some things here. They've opened up restaurants and barbershops and bowling alleys and I think even movie theaters. I guess pretty much everything other than schools, and I'm sure a lot of people are still working from home. I always have worked from home, so that hasn't changed for me, but once things go back to normal, I hope we can all like still appreciate the beauty of just kind of slowing down, not feeling the need to be super productive all the time. Yeah, I think there's definitely some positives that we can take away from this. If you studied, what did you study? So I'm guessing they mean in college. I majored in linguistics and I minored in Spanish and music. It was kind of a long road to settle on linguistics, and if I could go back, I would definitely pick something else. I kind of just picked it because I didn't know what else I wanted to study, and it didn't really lead to any like opportunities for me. There are not a whole lot of like job opportunities in linguistics unless you're wanting to go into a specific field of it, like teaching English as a second language or national security, which no thank you. There's always becoming a college professor, which I never wanted to do. My dad's actually a college professor, and never really had much of an interest in following that career path. So I don't think I was thinking very practically when I chose linguistics. That's kind of what happens when you send 19-year-olds off to college. Like, nobody knows what they want to do with their lives, or 18-year-olds. I guess I was 19 when I settled on linguistics. But originally I wanted to do music performance, and then I realized that probably wasn't very smart because I didn't want to have to sit in a practice room for 6+ hours a day just practicing and doing nothing else. I played the clarinet, by the way, and I did end up minoring in music, but there was that. That was originally what I wanted to do. Then when I came to college, I started out as a statistics major, and I don't know why I didn't like that, I guess, and so I switched to linguistics, and I liked it enough to stick to it. But I kind of wish, at the time I was like, I thought I was too like intellectual to do something like business or marketing, and I think if I were to go back now, that's probably what I would have done. Something that's a little more like applicable to real jobs. But I'm really happy with my job now. It's totally unrelated to linguistics, and I think a lot of people end up in jobs that are totally unrelated to their degree, so you know, no big deal. I definitely learned a lot about myself in college. But top hobbies while isolated, YouTube is the main one. I haven't really been doing much cooking. A lot of people I've seen like cooking and baking a ton, and I just really haven't been in the mood to do that. I've cooked some, but just not a lot. I just recently got back into like bird watching in my backyard. I'm not like a serious birder, like I just like to do it in my backyard, but let's see, I need to figure out what I'm doing here, hang on. I want to use a blue eyeliner, and so I'm gonna do something around that. But I'm gonna start with Paper Tiger from ColourPop. Back in the day, my dad and I used to bird watch a lot in our yard when I was a kid, and it was really fun. We would just like keep a list of all the birds we'd seen each month, and then each month it would start over. And so anyway, I bought like a cheap pair of binoculars. They're kind of small, they were like 25 bucks, which, you know, binoculars can get really expensive. So these are not like serious birding binoculars, but anyway, I've spotted a lot of really cool birds in my yard so far. I've seen a ton, we have a ton of blue jays in my yard, cardinals, chickadees, house finches, brown thrashers, which apparently is the state bird of Georgia, which I didn't realize. I don't think we ever even saw brown thrashers back home, which was also Georgia. So anyway, what else? Mourning doves, a pine warbler. Yeah, anyway, it's been a lot of fun. It's really like kind of oddly thrilling to identify a new bird, because you're like, I don't know, there's just something really fun about it. Like they have such complex lives and they're just cool, man. What else have I seen? Oh, an eastern towhee, robins, lots of robins. Actually, let me just pull up my list. I've been posting my list on my Instagram stories, which if you don't follow me on Instagram, you totally should. Mockingbird. Oh, I saw a black vulture flying overhead, which I just was able to identify it by its wings. Carolina wren. Today I saw, it was either a brown-headed cowbird or a common grackle, but I'm not sure which one it was. But yeah, I've been nerding out over those birds, because I just go out on my deck and like, there will be tons of them out there at different times of day. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And I use an app, it's called Merlin Bird ID. I'll try to at least put the name in the description box, or maybe link it, I don't know if I can, but yeah, it's called Merlin Bird ID, and you put in your location, and then it'll ask you like what size was the bird, what were the main colors, what was it doing, like on the ground or in a tree or on a feeder. And so you put in that information, and then it'll spit back out like a bunch of options of what it could have been, and like pictures. And it also has like their calls that you can listen to. So yeah, it's been really helpful, because I don't know that much about birds. Like I can't just identify them unless I know exactly what it is already. But anyway, that has been so much fun. It's just oddly like meditative, and just, I don't know, it's relaxing to just watch the birds and learn about them. It's really fun. So anyway, I was using the Bili Beauty Eyes of India palette because I realized I hadn't used this in a while. I'm trying to decide, I think for my lid, what do I want to put on my lid? I think I'm gonna put some of this light pearly shade on my lids. Plans after quarantine. I don't really have any plans right now, because I just don't know like when it's gonna end. Like it's gonna, like I said, I think it's gonna be a very gradual end to the quarantine. So yeah, I don't know. I really just want to travel. Like that's what I'm most excited to be able to do again, is just to go places. And I don't really have any destinations in mind. I just really like going places that I've never been before. It doesn't even really matter where it is. Internationally, I really want to go to Iceland, but I mean, I don't know when that'll even be possible. But I'm kind of just saving up for whenever that is. And I really want to be able to see my grandmother. She's in an assisted living facility, and it's been on lockdown. Oh, that's a different color than I meant to do. her building, I mean, her whole community has been on lockdown, like no visitors since March, which I think is the case for most places like that. But I really hope that we can see her soon or sometime eventually. She's 104. She just had her 104th birthday in April. We had a little like family FaceTime with her, so that was fun. But yeah, I mean, she understands what's going on, but at a very basic level. And she keeps asking, like, when are you guys gonna come visit me? And we're like, as soon as we can, we promise. But yeah, it's just sad. I mean, everything about it is just sad. I haven't really worn warm-toned eyeshadows in a while, but this is pretty. All right, I'm gonna do some blue eyeliner now. All right, this is the Wet n Wild blue eyeliner in Voltage Blue. And then another person asked, what are your thoughts on aging? Wrinkles, gray hairs, anti-aging creams, Botox, facelift. I wanna try to learn to like embrace the process of aging because it doesn't have to be like seen as ugly. I think our society teaches us that like old women aren't beautiful, but I think that's just not true. I also obviously want to protect my skin as best I can from the aging that's caused by sun damage, which is why I'm so adamant about wearing sunscreen all the time, which I think is super important, not because you don't want to get old and wrinkly, but just because it's important to protect your skin from sun damage and skin cancer. So I like using anti-aging products. I use like a retinol serum because I would like to slow the wrinkles as best I can. Like, I don't know if I would ever get Botox, maybe, but I don't fault anyone for getting that. I mean, it's your body, it's your face. I think we definitely we shouldn't shame people for any, cosmetic procedure that they spend their own money on. Like, it's totally your right to do that. And I mean, maybe one day I would get Botox. I'm not sure. I mean, it can be very, successful. And I think some people with Botox look great. So I guess I don't really have any strong opinions on like cosmetic procedures other than you do you, and we need to stop shaming people for doing whatever they want with their bodies. At the same time, like, I also want to, for myself, I want to learn to just like embrace it, It's not something that we're really taught in our society. I feel like the highlighter I used does not go with this eye look at all. So I might layer a different highlighter over it. We'll see. But yeah, kind of a fun, different eye look. Music that you've been listening to lately. I feel like I haven't really been on like a music kick recently. I go through phases where I listen to a ton of music. But I've been really into Young the Giant. I mean, I've liked them for a long time, but lately when I am listening to something, I'm listening to them. I don't know, I just really like their music. Oh, I've also been listening to a lot of acoustic guitar music, just like instrumental. I really like Andy McKee and Antoine Dufour. They're both incredible, like fingerstyle guitar players. It's just very relaxing to listen to. That's been what I've been going for lately. I think this e.l.f. Keep Your Curl mascara might finally be drying out. I've been using it since like January, so that would not be surprising. I'm not gonna layer more highlighter over that. I think I'm just gonna tone it down a little bit with some face powder. I think I might try this kind of sheer red on my lips. This is from Axiology in the shade Vibration. Would that be pretty? It's sort of like a sheer orangey red. Actually, that might be a little too cool for this look. I decided to go for something a little warmer, but I'm not sure which yet. I've got Red Apple lipstick in Beachside. That would be a good nude for this look. It's like tan. And then I have kind of a tannish nude Dose of Colors gloss. That might be a little too pinky. And then I have this e.l.f. tinted lip oil in Raspberry Truffle Kiss, which is like a brick red. What do we think? Let's try this on, and then if we don't like it, we'll do the other one. That is pretty. I think I'm gonna keep that. I think it's a keeper. This is not a lip color I wear all that often because it's an oil and it's kind of dark, but I think it's pretty. All right, let me get on some earrings and we'll come back and take a look. So I actually really like this look. I really haven't worn a whole lot of warm tones lately, and I really missed my Bili Beauty Eyes of India palette. I hadn't worn it in a while. And so I'm wearing just Bengal and Mehendi kind of as my crease and outer corner shades. Very like warm, burnt orangey reds. Very pretty. And then I have Taj Mahal on my lid. And yeah, I'm liking that like electric blue eyeliner. I think that's so pretty. Definitely need to wear that more often. As far as the SuperGoop Glow Screen and like the base, so this is interesting. It's definitely more luminous than it is hydrating, and I would almost say, I think I saw Dr. Dre say this too in her review, that it's kind of mattifying, which sounds very counterintuitive because it's called the glow screen. The finish is luminous, but the feel on the skin, it almost dries down to a matte. And it looks really, I feel like, because I was noticing in a video where I was wearing this under my NYX Born to Glow foundation, which I'm gonna review that soon, but I'm still testing it out. I know I've been testing it out for like 2 months, but it almost looked like in the video, my skin looked so good. Like it looked like I was wearing a filter or something, and I wasn't. So I feel like close up, it almost ages my skin. Like my smile lines are looking kind of crepey, but I feel like from somewhat of a distance, my skin looks really good. So I'm definitely still gonna keep testing this out, but I don't know that I would spend the, like, what is it, $36 for the full size? I don't know. It's a high price tag, and if it's not like doing something like amazing and life-changing, I'm probably not gonna buy the full size. But anyway, that's how I feel about that so far. But stay tuned, because this will be included in my face sunscreen face-off video. I don't know if that's what I'm gonna call it, but anyway, I'm gonna have a video where I compare at least 5 more face sunscreens, and they're all gonna be fragrance-free, I'm pretty sure, which is really exciting. So, but anyway, I think that is it for today's chatty, very chatty, get ready with me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you didn't mind that I got a little ranty there for a minute. I hope you have a great rest of your day. If you are not already subscribed to my channel, I'd love to see you again soon. I upload every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and sometimes a bonus video on Sunday. All kinds of videos about cruelty-free beauty and makeup and all that fun stuff. So also remember to give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it so that I know you liked it. And otherwise, hopefully I will talk to you very soon.